bringing her charm, talent, and a very unique journey to this conversation. Please join me in welcoming actor Sara Ali Khan as she talks about crossing Bollywood boundaries with our executive editor of Mirror Now, Shreya Dhondiyal. Over to you, Shreya.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a huge round of applause for one of the most talented, spirited and articulate stars of our generation. Sara Ali Khan, thank you so much for coming to the Times Now Summit. Great to have you here. Have a seat, please. You want to say Namaste Darshako? That really stuck.
Yeah, it was my little bit of pretending to be a news anchor like you lovely people.
Have you ever wondered why it stuck? I mean, have you ever sat down to think, yeah, how did this work? Come to think of it, it is just Namaskar Darshako. There's nothing brilliant about it. Why has it worked and why has it stuck to me?
You know, I think that in today's times, authenticity is a very diminishing virtue, you know. People don't really, nothing is not curated or not manicured. And I think Namaste Darshako, whether it's the locations, whether it's the lack of hair or makeup, whether it's the lack of thought almost of what I'm going to say, I think there's just so much honesty, spontaneity, and just like direct address to my audience. You know, it's like Namaste Darshako, मैं आपको अपनी दुनिया में ले जाती हूँ अभी. You know, I think that it's very honest.
But is that relatability that you come with, and you do come with a lot of relatability? We don't see you dripped in Dior top to bottom. We don't see you pretending. We don't see you trying to be a snob. Is that something you consciously do, consciously craft, that this is not the person I want to come across as? Because you're someone who does have a royal lineage, you have a foreign degree, you have a degree from Columbia, you're a major film star, and yet there's a certain relatability that comes across every time we see you on our screens.
That's a compliment, firstly, so thank you. And I think the compliment is truly to my mother. I've grown up with a single mom, and I think she's instilled very real values in me. I think that what I'm very, very cognizant of is being an actor is a part of my life. It's my job, but it doesn't really define who I am. I have a full life external to that. And I think that when you start looking at your job, your lineage, your degree as part of who you are, but not as definitive epithets, I think that that allows you to just keep it real.
When you say keep it real, what do you mean? Do you mean keep it middle class? Because anyone will look at you, Sara, and look at where you come from and say, middle class to nahi hai. She comes across as someone who's middle class, like in...
You know, ये middle class, Hindu, Muslim, मैं Indian हूँ. मैं एक भारतीय लड़की हूँ. मुझ में भारतीय values हैं. बाकी तो क्या ही है? मतलब I don't really look at it like that. I'm very egalitarian in my thinking. And I don't want to belong to a class, a creed or anything. I think that हमारी भारतीय सभ्यता इतनी inclusive है. We have so many languages, so many religions, so many cultures, so many classes, so many castes. I don't get into that bifurcation.
You know, I was listening to an interview of Varun Dhawan, who you've done some films with, and he says Sara will not even let her mother buy 2 towels if they are expensive. Is that true?
Well, it's debatable. He's not fully wrong. I'm frugal. I think that, you know, like, I'm aware and mindful about where I spend my money. I don't enjoy spending money frivolously. But yes, of course, I think a little bit of, you know, splurging, a little bit of celebrating, if you want to, why not, you know, like I love traveling. तो मैं उसके लिए अपने पैसे save करती हूँ. You know, I'm not very big on, मुझे शोशा for the sake of शोशा नहीं चाहिए. अगर मुझे कुछ चीज अच्छी लगी, and I can afford to buy it, even if it's expensive, maybe I'll buy it. Chances I won't, but I might. But I'm not going to buy, you know, like those inelastic goods that we talk about, the luxury goods that you buy just because they are. No, I seek utility in the things.
You will not buy an Hermes bag if you like it?
I haven't as yet. My mom has, and I borrow it every now and then. I aspire to buy a Chanel bag one day. So it's not like I'm, I judge people that wear brands. I think it's fine. But I think if you can pull off Zara and you're comfortable in it, that's great too.
So who manages your money? Who handles your money? What do you invest in?
So I've learned about the pie. I've learned that choti-choti cheezein alag-alag jagahon mein you should invest. So of course, one is advised. My mom handles my money entirely. Even my GPay account is linked to her. The OTPs come on her phone.
Now don't tell me you get a pocket money every month.
Forget pocket money. I can't book a ticket without, Mama, can I have the OTP?
No.
So she always knows where I am. And the little bit of discrepancy in where I am, social media ने वो भी erode कर दिया. तो या तो credit card या Instagram पे पता ही चल जाता है सारा कहाँ है. But no, I think real estate, the market, gold bonds, the usual.
So your colleagues are doing all sorts of things, right, with their money. I don't know why I'm talking about money. There's so much else to talk about. But anyhow, since we've gotten started, your colleagues seem to be doing many different things. They are diversifying. Some of them are running a clothes line. Alia has a baby clothes line. Deepika has a wellness brand. There are some. Katrina Kaif has a cosmetic line. Kriti Sanon has a cosmetic line as well. Do you think about that? Do you think about diversifying? Do you think about the future?
I do. I do think about it a lot. I know that there's more for me to do. But right now, I also know that I'm not even at the tip of the iceberg as an actor. I've been given opportunities. I've tried my hand at various, genres of work. Some have worked, some haven't. Some people like some work, some don't. But I think that I have a long, long way to go as an actor. And I'm optimistic about a long journey as an actor and, God willing, a long life. And if that does happen, then yes, whether it's production, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a certain public life, I'm definitely interested.
Public life mane kya? Politics?
Dekhte hain.
Acha. Just coming to your films, you've been in the films for 7 years now, roughly 7 years?
2018. Where are we? 25.
25. ठीक है. You've had, 5 theatrical releases, out of which 4 have been hits, including Skyforce. Where are you in terms of where your mind is? Are you in a happy space? Are you in a space where you're finally celebrating? Or are you in a phase where you're saying, oh my God, what do I do next?
I love the fact that you use the word celebrating instead of comfortable. Because if you'd asked me, am I finally comfortable? I would have said no. Because one should never be comfortable, one should keep growing. But the fact that you said celebrate, I am celebrating because I think that I forgot to do that, I'm very, very aspirational. I have a lot of dreams, a lot of ambitions, but I've been a hardworking girl my whole life. So aisa to nahi hai ki complacency mujh mein aa jayegi. But I think it's very important to celebrate each day. I think is bhag daud mein, is mujhe wahan pahunchna hai, us chakkar mein hum सेलिब्रेट करना भूल जाते हैं कि हम कहाँ तक पहुंच गए हैं. 90 किलो की लड़की जो कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ती थी वो आज एक अभिनेत्री है, आप लोगों के सामने बैठी है, आप लोगों ने मुझे किसी रीजन के लिए तो बुलाया ही होगा. सो विदाउट टेकिंग माई सेल्फ सीरियसली, विच आई डोंट नो हाउ टू डू, celebration is key. But mindful celebration, knowing that it's not हम पहुंच गए, but that base camp वाला कि यहाँ से वहाँ. So yes, the climb is on and there's a long way to go. But I've also come a long way.
Of course you have. My point is that sometimes it is our insecurity as professionals. All of us have it, right? You're an actor, you have it, you're 7 years in the profession, I've been 22 years as a journalist. I still have moments where I'm insecure, where I don't know what I'm doing, where I'm not confident of my craft. Are you now finally, quote unquote, settled in your career, completely secure in your craft, that you know what you're doing, that you're good at what you do?
I do believe I'm good at what I do. But I do believe that I will always be a student, whether I'm studying history or politics or acting. And when I say studying acting, I mean every time I'm on a movie set, I'm a director's actor. I learn, I grow, I unlearn. And I think that that's most important. I don't love the word settled when you talk vis-a-vis professionalism, because it reminds me of like, ruk gaye, Settle nahi chahiye, movement chahiye, growth chahiye, चलते रहना बहुत जरूरी है. But in a confident way, not in a aimless, मैं कहाँ हूँ, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, no. मुझे पता है मैं कहाँ हूँ, मुझे पता है मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये भी जानती हूँ कि बहुत ज़्यादा करना है, बहुत ज़्यादा सीखना है, लोगों के साथ काम करना है, निर्देशकों के द्वारा बस क्राफ्ट को और जानना है और बस चलते जाना है.
You said you learn from your directors. Do you also give them your input? Say, for example, you have a character that you need to play. Do you so they have something written for you, right? Do you come up with suggestions as well? Because I'm sure if you're playing that character, you will have a point of view on that character. Do you come and say, sir, ऐसे कर लेते हैं, वैसे कर लेते हैं, let's make her this? And are they open to listening to you?
Of course. I've been very lucky that way. I think filmmaking is a very, very collaborative effort. And at all times, you come up with suggestions, you come up with ideas. In fact, Anand Al-Rai is shooting in Delhi right now. I was speaking to him just this morning. And I remember there was a time where he told me, I asked him a question and he told me in Delhi itself, many years ago, that आज तू रिंकू के किरदार को शायद मुझसे बेहतर जान गई है. So you don't have to ask me, तुम अपने दिल से करो. And as a director, it's my job to say less, more, no, not. But I think the impulse or the instinct to say, this is coming, you shouldn't curtail that as a human being or as an actor.
Can I just take 2 minutes to speak about your father? You as a family have gone through a lot in the last couple of months. Can I ask you when the stabbing incident took place, how you heard of it and what your first reaction was? Was it fear, because we are so protective about our parents? Was it fear or was it anger? Or was it something else?
I think I shut down. I don't remember much. I think there was a freeze impulse almost, like, I don't know what's happening. And Ibrahim and me just drove straight to the hospital. And I think that we were very lucky in the fact that from the moment that we got to the hospital to the moment that we found out it's not critical was about 15, 20 minutes. So those 15, 20 minutes felt like a lifetime, but I was relieved quite fast, I think.
You were in Bombay when you heard, and you and your brother then drove directly to the hospital. Your father quite literally checked himself in the hospital. He walked into the hospital.
The doctor says he walked in like a tiger or lion. I don't know. Lion.
Yeah.
So.
And when he's discharged, he walks out smiling and waving to the camera. Is that the person he is, or was it circumstances that the world is watching? More importantly, your children are watching, and at no moment can you be seen as weak. What is it?
I think it's a combination of both. I think my father, is a father of 4 children, 2 of which are very, very young and very impressionable. And of course, he didn't want to, every parent does that. Na sab theek hai, main theek hu, sab theek hai, main theek hu. I'm not even a parent, I do it to my brother. So I think you have to kind of do that. But more than that, my father has always been a fighter always in life. And I really, really look up to him for his spirit to just never, ever give up. And I think that that's also the nature of our job. Not that that's related to this particular incident, but I think it's so fungible, like showing somebody कि मैं ठीक हूँ, कहीं ना कहीं it helps you actually get ठीक, So he did have to show Taimur that I'm fine. He did have to show Jahangir कि सब ठीक है. But he also wanted to show himself that, listen, I am fine, because he is a fighter. And he's much, much better under panic circumstances than anybody else in the family by a very large margin.
Acha.
For sure.
And who scores worst in the category? Who's the one who will panic first?
I think me. I think me. I just tend to freeze and then cry and then kya hoga. I think that happens a lot.
Sara, can I ask you how many times you've been to Kedarnath? Look at us just jumping from one subject to another. But can I ask you how many times you've been to Kedarnath?
Seven, 6, 7.
What drives you there? Is it some sort of personal belief? Is it any kind of faith? Is it the fact that you shot your first film there? What is it that takes you there?
I think I feel a sense of home there. I feel a sense of discovery there. When I first went to Kedarnath, I wasn't an actor. When I first went to Kedarnath, I don't know if, I studied in New York. I hadn't really been out and about in our country the amount that I had. I think it's one of the first times that I saw those mountains, saw those valleys, felt that energy, the energy in the temple, the energy just in the valley in general. And I think that I can't imagine that there was a whole life, a whole Sara, 2 decades of her without Kedarnath. Because like today, I can't imagine that. And I think it's a very humbling feeling to go home to Kedarnath. It taught me so much. There's an attachment to it that I really don't know how to explain. I discovered myself as an actor, as an adult, as a working girl, as somebody that's spiritually inclined, as somebody that likes the ekant of the mountains. I can't explain what it means to
And
me.
वहाँ पे अब तो everyone must know you because sometimes we see you making Maggie there.
They all know me. The Pandit ji knows me. I promise you, Kuldeep, Himanshu and Buppi are watching this and they're going to message me being like, "Kab aa rahe ho? Kapat mein khul raha hai. Kab aa rahe ho?" This is going to happen now.
But does it happen that you may be sitting somewhere and there are some pilgrims who are passing by and say, "Madam, वो वहाँ का रास्ता कहाँ है?"
Okay, I'll be
They
honest.
don't recognize you.
I promise you, usually not. Usually, like, people do recognize me in Kedarnath because a lot of people that have been there have perhaps seen the film. So I do think that there's a much more recognition in Kedarnath than anywhere else in the country, firstly. So I really feel very like Mom and me were talking about it because Mom had recently gone to the Golden Temple. And she's like, you know, I forgot, yeah, like people in Punjab really react to me. And I was like, yeah, Ma, people in Kedarnath also really react to me. So we were both sitting and talking about how people in our places react to us. But I was actually this time in a dhaba in Kedarnath and I was sitting by the ऐसा heater जैसा था और मैं हल्दी का पानी पी रही थी. And a yatri has actually asked me, "Mandir kahan hai?" And I've pointed in that general direction. It's never happened before or after, but it did happen that one time. And I truly felt like, देखा, घर का रास्ता मैं बता रही हूँ इनको.
I have a business idea for you. Kedarnath Travels.
I thought so, you know, चोपड़ा में एक lodge कर लूँ मैं.
Then how do you react to, you get a lot of love for your Kedarnath trips and the fact that you're open and that you speak your mind, etc. But there is also some hate that does come your way, especially being a Muslim going to a Hindu religious site. You get it. How do you react to it?
You know, I was very young in school. And even when my parents were married and we used to immigrate together abroad, I used to always wonder, Amrita Singh, Saif Pataudi, Sara Sultan, Ibrahim Ali Khan, chal kya raha hai? Matlab hai kaun, hum log kya hai? So, and I remember asking my mom, what am I? And she told me, you're Indian. And I'll never forget that. And I said that earlier today, I don't look at it like that. And I don't go to Kedarnath so I get love for it. I did the movie Kedarnath so I got love for it, and I'm really grateful for that love. But my personal trip to Kedarnath, with all due respect to anybody that likes it or hates it, it's not about any of you. It's about me. And I feel comfortable there. I feel peaceful there. I feel happy there.
Sara, we live in the best of times and we live in the worst of times, right? Your mother is a Sikh, your father is a Muslim.
Which I discovered at immigration because I was like, Singh Sultan, what's happening? So yes, I know this.
How do you navigate the world we live in today with your syncretic culture?
Like I said, I think that we're a secular nation. And I think that all these concepts, all these boundaries are made and manipulated by people, and I don't adhere to them. I just don't give it the ahmiyat that the other person maybe does.
But can you tune out the noise?
See, it depends. If I'm not going to pretend that I'm above trolling. But I think everything in life is relative. You know, as an actor बताओ अगर आप बोलोगे कि आपको मेरे काम में problem है, तो शायद मैं रुकूंगी, मैं सोचूंगी, मैं वो सीन फिर से देखूंगी और मैं बोलूंगी हाँ, ठीक है, maybe he's like unnecessarily harsh or, but okay, maybe he has a point, maybe I could have done it differently. And it's food for thought. As an actor, you should be open to criticism about your work. But about my personal beliefs, whether it's religious, whether it's spiritual, whether it's my family, whether it's my friends, whether it's the way I dress, I can tune it out because it's so mine and so pure and so personal that I have to decide that that's not for you to comment on. वो कोई नहीं करेगा. It's a fool's errand to change the way other people think. I have to tune it out.
But what about your mother? Can she tune it out? She's been a single mom. She's brought you and your brother up. Parents are protective about children. उनको गुस्सा नहीं आता क्या बकवास हो रही है?
उनके लिए मुश्किल होता
है ना?
उनके लिए जरूर मुश्किल होता है और उसी वजह से मुझे दर्द होता है. When I see her, because you know in today's day and age, in fact yesterday I was talking about it, so I don't want to repeat myself, but maybe you haven't heard me say this yesterday, so I will. I was recently learning about this concept called parasocialism. जहाँ क्या होता है ना, you think you know somebody because they're a public figure. You see certain aspects of their personality and it becomes an almost one-sided relationship where you start feeling attached or having expectations or think that you know that human being. And in that process, what lands up happening, especially with celebrities, is whether or not there's devotion or disdain or however you see them, there is a dehumanization of them. और उस चक्कर में ना आप भूल जाते हो कि वो भी एक इंसान है. She is not only answerable to you कि उसके कपड़े कैसे हैं, उसका रंग कैसा है, वो कहाँ, like they forget that there's actually a human being with a heart. So when you're ripping somebody apart, you forget that for you it's just a celebrity and आपके दिमाग में you're like, oh I know her because I know her on Instagram, but you know who actually knows her is her mother. Who actually knows her is her brother. Who actually knows her are her friends and her family, that she feels so sad to see that in their eyes when you're like trolling her for random things that is none of your business. That is so painful to me because you don't really know me. You don't know my hardships. You don't know where I come from. And I'm not, here to say that मेरी जिंदगी बहुत कठिन है. नहीं, मैं नहीं बोल रही कठिन है आसान है. मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि आप नहीं जानते क्या है. जैसे मैं नहीं जानती आपकी जिंदगी क्या है. And I just hate that my mom gets upset when she reads those things because I want to pretend like we're above it. I think I am to a certain degree, but I know that she's not. और उन्हें दर्द होता है क्योंकि वो मेरी माँ है और वो भी एक्टर है, मैं भी एक्टर हूँ, लेकिन माँ बेटी होती है यार.
What was it growing up with a single mother? You have said it wasn't exactly easy, that many people thought that life would have been cushy given the fact that your mother herself was a major film star. Your father, when they got married, was on his way to becoming a major film star. But it wasn't always easy. Now, many people can look at that statement and say, "Mane, tough kya tha? Aisa to nahi tha that, that you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. Aisa to nahi tha that you didn't know how you'd pay your child's fee." But you've said that it wasn't as easy as people think it was. Why is that?
Because everybody has their own hardships in life. Everybody, it's not black or white, in life. And I think that that's where this envy almost comes from. There's where envy comes from? Again, I was talking about this yesterday. But invidia, means blindness. So oftentimes, you're envious of people because there's a blindness that you feel towards them. The richest people, the most good-looking people, the most famous people. You feel an envy because you glorify it without realizing the actual humanity that is behind it. Everybody comes with their hardships. For instance, I think being from an acting family, I have been scrutinized to a very large degree very early in my life. I'm not even talking about after I became an actor. I'm talking about the social media, the eyes, the eyeballs before that. I was given a lot of love, for sure, after Kedarnath and Simba, and I'm so grateful for that. But somewhere along the lines, with that love also came an answerability. There are two sides to every coin. And I don't think that, people that are judgmental about anybody's, what's the right word? Achhi cheezein, privileges, it also comes with its demerits. It comes with its hardships. And I don't want to sit here and actually explain to people what they are because that's fodder for acha, dekha, bakwas, So I'm not going to give it to them. But the truth of the matter is that you'll never really know anybody's whole life. If you think that the richest man in the country today has no problems, or the most famous person in the country today has no problems, I would really urge you to look again because I know both those people and I think they might have problems. So you never know.
Sara, I hope that doesn't get you into trouble.
No, it won't because it's true. Who doesn't have problems? Who doesn't have emotions? Yeah. Who doesn't feel? Are you trying to tell me money buys all kinds of happiness. I was reading about this, you know, in like East Germany, where there was income equality. फिर तो कोई problem नहीं थी ना, सबके पैसे equal थे. Why were they reporting you to the authorities? Why was one East German reporting the other East German? Because he had more books. Even though everybody's income, money was the same, you were being reported because you had more books. So you'll always find a reason to be complaining, or grass will always be greener on the other side. I am saying human emotions are soft, and I don't know if money or fame or success can equalize that.
But where do you get your reality check from? When we look at your life from the outside, chalo, you're saying that not everyone's life is perfect. I agree with you there. But look at it from the outside, right? You've been 7 years in the industry. You've had 5 theatrical releases. 4 of them or 5 of them have been super hits. You come from a filmy family where everyone, you know, your entire family is famous. You'll probably business class. You'll stay in a 7-star hotel. Reality check kahan se aa raha hai?
I think that I've started recently more than ever before, and like I said before, there is of course a sense of understanding that there's a job and there's a life external to the job. There's a mother that keeps it very, very real.
Like how?
Like, we'll not go to Shankar Market to buy another dupatta because we already have 7. You know, for some, like, this was a conversation we were having today. She's with me in Delhi. I think that it's obviously the values that she's instilled in me. But I think what also actually allows me to keep it real is I've started looking at what I do a little more as an observer. You know, I do it with full intentionality. But uske baad jo hoga, wo hoga. You know, taking successes and failures, it's not like I haven't seen hardships. It's not the same girl that got all the love after her first 2 films didn't get so much love for the only theatrical flop that I've had. That gave me a good amount of flack, you know. So you realize what's real and what's not. You realize what's there and what's not. Mom was a working actor. She was so busy. Now she doesn't really work that much. So you realize what's, you know, transient and what's permanent. And you start valuing what's permanent more. And that's what allows you to keep it real. After all the noise is done, after I go home today and I take off the kajal and I wear a slightly more comfortable white outfit. You know, this is quite comfortable. Maybe I'll wear it for the rest of the day. But anyway, and I take it out and I go to Bangla Sahib or I go to Nizamuddin, I'll be like, this is my real life. I'm here as an actor to talk to you guys, but there is more to who I am, and I remind myself of that. I read, I meditate, I practice gratitude, I see what's real and what's not, and I keep reminding myself of that. And sorry if I'm going on and on, but I must say, I am just thankful for the love that I get, but I try not to take it too seriously, because it can become hate tomorrow, love again, hate again. Don't get attached or comfortable. Just be and have a sense of who you are external to all of that.
Do you think about the future again? I know that you'll do many more films. You'll have many more trips to Kedarnath. You'll travel a lot more. But do you think about what you'd be doing 20 years from now? Yeah, are you just in the moment saying, "Acha, next film, we'll see how this goes and we'll see where this goes"? Are you a planner?
I am a planner. I am a planner, but I'm recently trying to go with the flow. I don't know if that comes to me very easily. I've been overtly intellectual and cerebral in the way that I think in life. But I'm trying to kind of have a little bit of faith and surrender with the right amount of intentionality. I think if I'm just better tomorrow than I was today, 20 years later will take care of itself.
You don't think about diversifying, you don't think about business, you don't think about marriage, you don't think about kids. I'm just asking these questions, of course.
I do. I think about all these things. But I think about them kind of like in the background. Like I have a sense of maybe I should have an Indian clothing line. I wear it so much. Maybe people will, you know, find it interesting because it's, it's organic to who I am. I do it quite effortlessly. Maybe they'll find it interesting. I'm interested in the idea of maybe having a sports line of my own. I work out a lot. I believe in that. Of course, entrepreneurship is something that interests me. My father had a production company, still does. So maybe getting into that is interesting to me. But right now, like I said, I am trying to focus on just honing the craft and being better at that for now, with very much surety that there's a lot more ahead.
What is it like working with your parents? I know you've done some ads with your father. What is it like? Does he get irritated with you? Is it a smooth professional relationship? What is it like?
Well, I think my father and me, when we're working together, I think we're both professional actors, so that is there. But there is that moment of, you can also try it like this, Sara. Or, do you know, like when I'm fully ready in like hair and makeup, sometimes when I come onto the set, he's like, that's my daughter. Like, what's going on?
Does he say tone it down?
No, never. I'm hardly, who'll tell me to tone it down? You've met me. It's like tone it up a little bit if you can, but no. But yeah, of course, I think that...
Fathers are like that, right? Kitna makeup kar rakha hai? Why is your, why is your skirt
Yeah,
not
exactly
longer?
that, but that's never the problem with me. My skirts are long only. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, but no, I think apart from that, I think we come from a... You know what I really like about my family, and it's tricky, but there is the right amount of modernity and traditionality, whether it's my grandmother famously wearing that bikini. I think that it's not so black and white. You don't, मतलब हमारी सभ्यता सिर्फ साड़ी या सलवार कमीज में नहीं दर्शाई जाती, वो एक वैल्यू होती है, वो आप पता ही चल जाएगा. Even if I have to wear a short skirt because it's a wheat ad and I endorse hair removal cream, I have to show my legs now because that's what the job is at that moment. But I think agar, you carry your grace in your eyes and your body language. And I've been taught that from an early age, I think.
What about your mother? Because she featured in some of your Namaste Darshako videos and she looked fairly irritated
In the drafts that are not out, so then it's only her. Namaste Darshako dekhiyo ma, and it's like, cut, you're not putting this up. So yeah, no, mom is a bit camera shy, which is interesting to me. I think mom got a lot of love and a lot of adulation in a time where this media, social media, scrutiny, it didn't exist. So I think she doesn't understand it at all.
But do you push her to go out and work a little more? She gave up working when both of you were born. Many mothers did that. Does she regret it in hindsight? And do you push her to do more given the fact that she's a fantastic talent?
I don't think she regrets it at all. And I do try to push her every now and then. Like, she last did Badla. I thought she was lovely in it. I wish that she would work more. But she laughingly says, now it's yours and Ibrahim's time. So I don't know. But one never knows, I think once an actor, always an actor. So hopefully if the right opportunity comes her way, you never know. I really hope that she does work more.
We have exactly 2 minutes left. There are a lot of young women. हाँ, वो देखो timer लगा रखा है हम लोगों के लिए. But there are a lot of young women watching you and saying, Sara is so pretty, she's so thin, she has such good skin, etc., etc. Is there anything you'd want to say to them? Because you've been someone who's had weight problems, right? And you've come where you've come with a great deal of effort by working a lot on yourself. Is there anything you'd want to say to young girls who are looking at you today and thinking you're perfect?
Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We, like I said in a different answer to a different question, we all come with our own set of insecurities, our own anxieties. And I actually, today more than giving a message, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all those young girls that look up to me, because I promise you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, you guys are the reason that I keep going on a low day. Because I remember that, you know what, अगर मैं confidence के साथ चल के जाऊंगी तो ये लड़की बोलेगी देखा PCOD के बारे में बात करती है, anxiety के बारे में बात करती है, mental health के बारे में बात करती है, अगर ये अपने सपने को साकार कर सकती है हम भी कर सकते हैं. And not dissimilar to my father, who's pretending or showcasing being a warrior, which actually makes him a warrior. There is something about the stronger you portray yourself to be, the stronger you sometimes become. And I think the nature of my job has made me realize that when I am out there talking to people like today, right now, when I'm giving you this message, I'm so fully present here that I'm not anxious anymore about what I was maybe in the morning or what I might be after I leave. Because that is life. People pleasing is part of our nature, but putting yourself first is so important. Celebrating every day is so important. Just loving yourself is so important, because social media के चलते चलते आज की तारीख में लोग तो होंगे ही to bring you down. But what I'm seeing more and more around me, if I can say so, is that critical voice that's coming up in all of us. We ourselves are sometimes pulling ourselves down. Am I good enough? Am I good enough? Can I do this? Should I have done this? Regret, regret, malal, malal. No. Just keep going. Put your head up and dare to dream, learn to excel, which was the motto of my school, and I try to follow that every day.
Wouldn't you advise them to keep it real like you have? We live in the age of social media where everyone wants to portray their life as perfect. It's not. We understand that. But is that something you say to young women you meet as well? Just keep it real. Not everyone wakes up in the morning with 3 kgs of makeup on their face. It's okay to go in front of the camera with the face you have and feel confident about that. Because honestly, if you ask me, those are the values you represent.
I definitely think so. I definitely think you should keep it real, because the other person that you're trying to copy already exists. I said this maybe in the beginning of our session, and I'll repeat myself. Authenticity is a truly diminishing virtue today. We are all in a rat race trying to be, fit in. Fit in where? Where are we going? There's this constant running, this constant pleasing. You'll never be able to please everyone. Please yourself. And I think the only way that you can really do that, your soul feels at ease when you keep it real. Like you asked me when I said, just a random digression, when I said that I know the famous and rich person, you were like, will you get into trouble? It took me about 2 minutes to be like, oh my God, am I actually going to get into trouble? And then I was like, no, why? I spoke from the heart. I said something very honest. I, in fact, humanized the people that we sometimes dehumanize. I kept it real. And actually, there's a sense of solace and ease with that. You want to be easy, keep it real.
Do you have friends? Do you manage, to keep your friends? Because all of you lead very busy lives. You're traveling, you're working all the time. Do you have friends?
Yes, I do. And most of my friends are school friends. And they are part of the reason that I'm able to keep it real. Because to them, I'm not the chakachak girl or the aankh mare girl. To them, I'm Sara, the girl that is like half the size that they remember her being, but has the same spirit, has the same ambitions, and just wants to keep going, and they allow me to keep it real.
Can I ask you, is our time
I think
over?
they've increased our time.
But I know,
I don't know what's going on. They don't want us to leave.
And then it's 10 minutes and your lady there is saying, chalo, chalo, chalte hain, bahut ho gaya. Can I quickly ask you, have they actually increased our time? I'm not sure. Anyhow, can I just ask you about your little brothers? At one point you said, or someone said, I wish I was as famous as Jay and Taimur. Do you still feel that? Do you feel that there has been a certain overexposure as far as they are concerned? Look, every parent has a choice to make. Your father, Kareena Kapoor, have made that choice. Do you think that they've been overexposed? Or, I just want your views on that, if at all.
I think in today's day and age, I am overexposed.
Acha.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the fact that, social media, for me, I was, I joined social media the same age that I became an actor, in 2017. तो मुझे वो कभी मौका नहीं मिला, वो कॉलेज में जो ना बस अपना फिंस्टा आप लगा के बस मजाक वजाक करते रहते हो इंस्टाग्राम पे. I never got that time. So for me, I think understanding that I'm an actor on social media versus I'm just a girl on social media, there was no time in the middle. So I also started taking social media maybe seriously. I started posting too much. And I think that in today's day and age, I don't know, especially, I think that there's too much out there. The mystery is going a little bit. I think that people are getting attached to concepts like Namaste Darshako. I like it, I love it, but there's more to me than that, And sometimes when you only see people on social media, you start reducing them as just that. And that's something I don't like. I don't know if we can change it. Maybe we are in the age of social media. We are in the age of PAPs. But I do miss a little bit of silence sometimes.
Which is why you go to Kedarnath.
Which is why I go to Kedarnath.
And we have 33 seconds left. So I will thank you, Sara Ali Khan, for being with us on the Times Now Summit, for being so energetic and honest. honest and authentic. What a pleasure it has been speaking to you.
Thank you so much,
I wish
ma'am.
you fair winds and following seas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, ladies. I must say, intellect meeting, being really down to earth, and these two ladies, both of them, Sarah as well as Shreya, both of them really have lived by that example.